Kawasaki's Z900 has always been a steady seller in the UK, sitting just being the brand's big capacity sport touring models in the Kawasaki sales charts. It's a solid, confident sub-litre naked bike, and the 2025 Z900 doesn't stray from that DNA, but it does up the ante, thanks to a host of subtle tweaks. The engine and chassis setup have both been refined for the 2025 model, which has given the Z900 a slightly sharper and more refined feel than the outgoing model. However, it's still a little sharp on the throttle, and although it offers a good level of comfort and stability, it's not the sharpest sub-litre naked of the bunch. Electronically, the 2025 Z900 comes equipped with all the bells and whistles. A 6-axis IMU powers a raft of rider aids and modes, while the new 5-inch TFT dash is easy to read and navigate, and offers Bluetooth connectivity, along with turn-by-turn navigation and even the ability to command certain options via your voice, although this is something that wasn't ready to use on our test bikes, and we'll have to wait to sample the Z900 in the UK to see just how effective it is. Although much of the chassis and components remain unchanged, Kawasaki have pulled the forks through the yokes by 3 mm and have also added a plate in the frame in order to increase the rigidity. Sure, this isn't a massive change from the previous model, but because of that, the Z900 is still a confidence-inspiring, stable machine that is happy to be pushed relatively hard into corners on the front end. It's not the sharpest sub-litre naked around, but it will happily oblige to being ridden harder, as will the new Dunlop Q5A tyres, which offer a reasonable amount of feel and feedback in both wet and dry conditions. The suspension setup is fairly plush, and works nicely to absorb bumps and poor tarmac, without having too much rebound to upset the chassis on changes of direction either. However, when ridden harder, the Z900 does reach its limitations, and will benefit from a little extra support, possible with a screwdriver adjustment, in order to stop the speed of the initial travel through the front forks. However, it's only really noticeable when ridden hard, and for the most part, blends a nice combination of being supportive, without being too aggressive. The new Nissin radial calipers offer a solid amount of braking power when they're called upon, but the initial bite from the lever isn't the strongest, while the ABS does still rear its head in heavier braking situations. Kawasaki have always been hard at work at the ergonomic side of things, with a new bar setup and seat unit. The result is a spacious riding triangle, with a soft, supportive seat that will allow for hours of comfortable riding in the saddle. As nakeds go, it's both roomy and comfortable. Although the 948 cubic centimeters inline-4 motor is the same as in terms of its core architecture, it does have a few subtle tweaks to set it apart from the 2024 model. Kawasaki have altered the camshafts, throttle bodies, and shortened the gear ratios, while also tweaking the ECU settings to not only get it through €5+, but also to give a little more in the mid-range, and to improve the efficiency and fuel economy too. It doesn't feel much different to the outgoing model, but the Z900 does pick up nicely in the mid-range and pulls to near enough all the way to the red line, at its happiest at the top end of the digital tachometer. Unlike the variety of parallel twins and triples in the category, it loves to rev, and is at its very happiest when it's ridden in a spirited nature, lacking a little at the bottom end of the rev range. The up and down quickshifter, now standard, works well at near enough any speed, and is crisp in its delivery of fresh gears, both up and down the box. On the flip side, in full power mode it's a little too snatchy on initial throttle pickup, and at slow speeds through town in second gear it's a bit jerky on the first few percent on the throttle. Also, with the shortened gear ratios, first gear feels very short, and slow speeds in second require a bit of clutch to smooth out. Kawasaki claim that the new Z900 is more frugal in terms of miles per gallon than the previous model, and in towns it is. However, it will sit mostly between the 34 miles per gallon to 40 miles per gallon mark when ridden in a spirited manner. The 2025 Z900 hasn't changed drastically from the previous generation, which has received rave reviews for its reliability and build quality. Issues are few and far between, while even when they are being ridden year-round, the Z900 holds up well against the elements. Up close, it's not the classiest, most expensive finish, but considering the price, it's a quality bit of kit that looks to have been built properly and robustly. Against its sub-litre naked rivals, the Z900 is priced competitively. At £9,199, or £9,371 OTR, it's cheaper than the £10,095 Triumph Street Triple R, £10,106 Yamaha MT-09 and the £10,999 KTM 990 Duke. However, the biggest thorn in the Kawasaki's side comes in the shape of Honda's CB1000 Hornet, which offers more power and torque, for just £8,999, or £9,999 for the all-singing and dancing SP model. In terms of equipment, the 2025 Z900 is well equipped and is a step up from the previous generation. As standard, it now comes with a two-way quickshifter, an IMU that powers cornering ABS and traction control, 3 riding modes and cruise control too. This is all powered by a new 5-inch TFT dash that comes with Bluetooth connectivity, that allows for voice commands and turn-by-turn navigation, although we're yet to test out the software.